There we go.
Welcome to Analytics Are for the Nerds. We are approaching week 12. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's go.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up.
Oh, happy post-Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Small Business Saturday. How was everyone's holiday?
See, you were you said heading into week 12 because you didn't change your script for Wednesday. We were supposed to be on Wednesday, and we had to postpone.
I saw Michigan defeat the Ohio State today. I was just trying to, in case I know there's a lot of college football. Washington State today. A lot of St. John's basketball's on right now. There's a lot going on.
Do you know that Ryan's an Ohio State grad? That you just twisted the knife right when you.
I am a listener and supporter of our YouTube channel, so I have heard our podcast, and I do know. No, but Ryan, I will say this though. Michigan fans are so dorky. Like, are you Michigan State or Michigan? Like, calm down. I'm sorry. I still think you guys. So you'll still be good. You'll still be in 41 bowls, so you're good.
Well, yeah, it was a tough loss. As soon as the interception was thrown, just turned it off, and that was that. But listen, it's going to be like that most years, especially when there's as good recruiting that's going on at both schools right now. So, oh well, next one we'll see.
Yeah, and for earmuffs, Ryan, but for a listener. Last 3 minutes of the game, it was like a 3-point difference, and that did not happen by the end. So I'm so sorry. But
it was a really good game. It was like it lived up to the hype for sure. And sorry that you were on the sorry. Right, we're really upset for you.
We are so upset. You can tell. Louis, what we are so
sorry.
upset.
Yeah.
No, thank you. It's all right. I accept your condolences. It's all right. I'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean UB is like 0-41, so okay.
Well, that was where I went to law school, so yeah, I'm not. It's not going great for me today in the college football scene.
Allie asked about Thanksgiving. Her and I sucked, so we don't even need to talk about ours. But was yours okay at least, Ryan? Did you have a good one?
Yeah.
Did 1/3 of this podcast have a decent Thanksgiving?
I had celebrated with my side of the family the previous weekend to avoid scheduling issues, which was nice. But my daughters were not feeling well, so we stayed home for Thanksgiving. But it was still nice. We got to be together, and a lot of people dropped off food, and including our neighbors. And so yeah, it was a nice day.
What Ryan
my favorite holiday.
COVID, and me and Louis are the only jerks that did not say, Ryan, are you guys okay?
No, and we pulled. You pulled the same trick I did. I was sick. I wasn't a trick. I was sick. But I got out of I was supposed to go to 2 different family parties that were an hour and a half apart from each other. Got out of them both. And I legitimately bad karma. I wouldn't have faked anything. It was a bad sickness, but as bad as it was, I was like, this is all right. And then being the Italian, mama's boy, my mom still got me a plate to go and brought it over. So I got my Thanksgiving dinner delivered.
That explained why you were licking doorknobs all last week, right? You were trying to plan that out.
That was the day before, right? I will say my gentleman caller has a much more exciting family than mine. So it was fun. I did win in a family password, the game. So I don't know if that does anything for street cred, but I know how to guess the word bouquet in a group of people. So let's continue so we don't lose people. We're going to continue on the podcast. Louis is 60th and BBM for Louis, how is that team going?
It went back 8 spots on the week.
Okay.
Again, now I'm feeling good, right? Like I'm feeling even bad weeks. We're sticking in. There's 3 more weeks here. I got a decent start to this week. I had Mostert and Montgomery, who both had decent games. I did have Howell as one of my 2 quarterbacks, so I'm going to need to count on Kenny Pickett this weekend, which is frightful to get me a spike week at quarterback. But I have Kyron Williams coming back this week. I got Olave. I got some guys that have some decent matchups. Mike Evans. I'm excited to see where it ends up at the end of this week after the two games that I was a little worried about, Mostert in Montgomery. I got some decent scores there, so they should at least fill on one of my running back positions there. Hopefully, both of them, and we'll see if I can get some big spikes and get into we want to get to the top, right? But if we don't get to the top, we want to at least catch Walrus balls. So we have to make sure that we get one of those things. So I'm we'll see where it goes, but this week is already off to a good start. So I'm excited to see where we end up at the end of next week. But it could be like last week where I was like telling you guys, man, this week's going good. I could be like in the top 5, and then I saw I was in 42nd. So I mean, I'm not going to get too excited until I see the actual results. But
I will say this though, from last week, Pat was very optimistic for you because he said he was in 142nd place or something.
He was, way Pat, like thousands. He was like thousands back when he won.
Him right now, he said that he was way over the 1,000 line. So you have great picks. So I'm still putting my money on you. I think you have a great shot. So all money on Luigi, not Walrus balls, right?
The one cool thing, and I don't know if I don't think I've talked about it on the pod, and Rye, I don't even think we've talked about it because now I got into the database where you could really like dig into these other teams and who's in front of you and stuff. And like I have there's no Olaves in front of me. There's no Kelsey's in front of me. There's only like 4, let's see, 9 Kyrons, 8 DJ Moores, 8 Christian Kirks. Like there's not, Puka's only got 8 teams in front of me. Like I have a lot of guys that are live. So at this point, it's just getting the production here for 3 more weeks, and it could be fun. I was at the barbershop today, just like telling them that I'm a millionaire. I was like, I'm in 50th, so I'm about to be a millionaire. And they were like, oh, what place wins the million? I was like, first, but I'm about to be a millionaire. Those other 49 guys don't have shit on me. So yeah, I'm counting the money, but got some work to do.
Yeah. Were they like, sir, why does your truck have window clings on it? Millionaires don't have window clings.
Yeah. Why are you wearing a knockoff Puka Nakua shirt? Millionaires don't wear Puka.
Do you want to round robin? We're wearing jerseys tonight, listener. Ryan, who are you wearing right now?
I'm wearing Thurman Thomas. I can't put up that far, but there you go. Thurman Thomas.
That was your best. The girl from E. Ryan, what are you wearing right now?
I know. He said Mitchell and S. Louis, you have a new fit as well. Do you want to talk about yours?
Yeah, mine's from China, and it's undersized, and this is not a thing, I don't think, in the jerseys. I don't think they just have rams on their shoulder normally, but it's cool. A little cool thing that kid put on there while he was working so hard. And so it will do until I become a millionaire.
Okay, that's nice.
Puka's going to get me there. I'm sorry, we cut Ryan off talking about his Thurman jersey. Do you have a good story about your Thurman jersey that you wanted to get into? Or
no, I've always wanted a throwback jersey, and Thurman was one of the first players that I remember seeing when I was growing up. So yeah, had to get one. So that's it. Just
Ryan. Do you have any autographed memorabilia from a Bills player, like any Hall of Famers? Did anyone sign anything for you yet?
No, the only autographed memorabilia that I have somewhere in my possession is a Sabres jersey, and not of a very well-known player or anything like that. It's not going to get me any money. It's a Brian Holzinger signed jersey.
I love Brian Holzinger.
Yes.
Number 19, right? Number 19.
Number 19. That's right. Yep.
Oh, that's classic. That's very, very cool. I am wearing a classic Frank Reich, the true classic gentleman and winner of those Bills years. I think I'm pro Frank over Jim Kelly on that one. I'm just saying. Very controversial. I won't get into it because I want listeners to stay here. But
I mean, only one of them were a real dickhead. I'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah. One is a God-fearing man. The other one.
Is it?
So Ryan and I both are classic guys, and Louis' jersey will dissolve once he washes it. So.
The other one could never be a street sweeper because he would never be able to tell anybody what he does.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh man.
Speaking of street sweepers, anyone want to talk about your percentage of top 3 teams? Anyone want to get into that stuff? I know we're we're already into week 12, and we're already in. So let's talk about what's going on. Ryan, you want to talk about your fun teams?
Sure. Yeah, I'm at I think about 27% for top 3 teams that are in BBM right now, and 3 that are in the top 10,000. So certainly live, right? Last year I had one team that made it to the finals, and then 2 others that made it to the semis. And the 2 teams that made it to the semis also weren't like world beaters at any time throughout the season, but you make it into the weeks 15, 16, and 17, and it's really anybody's game. So that's what makes this tournament fun. It basically resets once the playoffs start. So it'll be interesting to see how it winds down. And Lou, with what you were talking about, I think the most interesting thing is going to see if both LA and Miami can return to form, at least with respect to those running games, right? When Kyron was firing, I mean, he was locking down basically the entire work. He actually had 100% of the work for a couple of weeks there. It'll be interesting to see if they limit his carries, but to be honest with you, I feel like because he had an IR stint, he had some extended time, he's just going to come back, and be a workout, of course. So could be wheels up for LA. We'll see if they make a little run here at the end of the year. It'd be nice for your team.
Yeah, I'm looking at my overall portfolio right now. I'm running 24.4% advance rate, which is pretty good. Excuse me. I'm thankful at that. I'm looking through some of my teams are way behind my top team that we've talked about a lot, and there are some teams that are going to be super live in the playoffs. I'm excited about some of the other rosters for the playoff games as much as I am the top roster. So as we learned from Pat last week, you could go in and 30,000 place and win it all because it all resets after a few more weeks. So lots of fun though watching that advance rate be good. I've had some real good. I wouldn't be able to bring it up. I don't even have it, but I've had some really good success just in the daily underdogs the last few weeks. I've been maxing out a lot of those entries, and I feel like those rooms are pretty soft. That's something that I was going to talk to you about, start doing some more, because it's a pretty soft thing. Let's talk a little bit about week 12 though. So far, the games that we've watched so far, I mentioned Montgomery and Mostert doing the 2 big games for me as far as the BBM game, but anything really stick out to you? I mean, the Lions losing didn't shock me. The crazy things happen in that game a lot of times. No big situations. What was your takeaway here from the first 4 games of the week?
My biggest takeaway was not really a fantasy related takeaway as more as it was that I think that the 49ers are the best team in the league. I think that top to bottom, they are just, they're clicking on all cylinders. That defense is just absolutely stacked. They make offense look about as easy as the Eagles did, last year. Purdy, you could say what you want about him, but he's executing in that offense better than Jimmy Garoppolo did. He's clearly got a command of that offense, and he's utilizing those weapons. He's maximizing all of their talents. I mean, of course, it's nice when you have CMC in the backfield, and Kittle, being a matchup nightmare for teams. But at the same time, you still have to be able to execute, and that's been the impressive thing. So I think they're the team that I fear the most, and they just look like the most complete team in the NFL to me.
Yeah, I don't think that that's too far off. I mean, Purdy always, I feel like, has to prove something to me, but the way he's gone here in the last month or so, he's really looking like he's on. What I love about Shanahan is just like, they really move the ball around amongst their stars, even though, McCaffrey's the big guy, but like if Debo has the big game this week, it was Ayuk last week. Kittle 3 weeks ago, like, the main weapon is McCaffrey, but you never know where the second one's coming from on that offense. And they're super scary, and obviously really good to have in fantasy. I don't know. I mean, I was just going to say that so clearly, but in lineup leagues, they're tough, man. I have Debo and Ayuk in a main event together, and I don't think I've made that right decision every week because I don't have Purdy, so you might and on a lineup league you don't want to maybe stack too much or put too many eggs in your basket, and that's a tough decision every week between those two because they really do alternate importance in the game plan. But for the NFL and for just regular football, that makes them great. It makes them pretty frustrating in fantasy, though. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I still think it's going to be Miami, San Fran this year. Those two teams are not always 100%, but when they are just unstoppable. So let's. Right? Anyone want to prove my prediction wrong?
No. I mean that's it's.
We're done with the Kelsey brothers. We're moving on from them. I'm just trying. I still think the Eagles are going to be very, they're. So let's move on to our Superflex 2023 rookie redraft. So, gentlemen, you drafted some players in the summer, and now let's take a look at what you're feeling if you could redraft here in week 12. What do you think? What were your new moves you would do?
So I'll start with like the number 1 pick, and then you want to just alternate, Ryan. We'll do that. So, and we're gonna keep this. We're gonna do it super flex. We're going to consider a tight end premium in the league. Nothing crazy, but this is just basically going to be for how the players range now compared to when they did. And with the first pick in a super flex league, I don't think that there's anybody but CJ Stroud right now, and he would be my first pick. I was a big believer of him when it came to him and Young. I was him over Young. I did love Richardson the most. But I did a lot. Whenever I had a chance for Stroud or Young, I would either trade out of it to get Stroud or just bite the bullet and take Stroud over Young. So I'm glad I was right on him, but I didn't think it would be this good. So the 101, definitely CJ Stroud.
Yeah, you're talking to a guy now that had the 101, or excuse me, the usually the 103 choice at that position. And I did take Bryce Young over CJ Stroud in a couple of different leagues. And that's, I ultimately trusted these front offices, to make the right decision. But at the end of the day, nobody knows anything about these quarterbacks. It's one of the hardest positions to scout. So you should just, I think, pick who you think is going to be that guy and just stick with it, right? I mean, who's to say, you don't have to be an educated scout necessarily to make that decision on your own and say, I want to be attached to this guy and not just trust what they ultimately did with the first overall pick.
To that point, Ryan, for next season, I know we have some QBs in the lineup. What's your intuition telling you? Are you going to listen to front office? Are you just going to pick number 1 USC? Like, what do you think you're going to do?
Well, just quickly on that class, I do think that if it's super flex, you're still potentially looking at Marvin Harrison Jr. being 101, regardless, based on that talent. If he's not, it's going to be Caleb Williams. And I just expect him to still go higher. I expect him to go first. A lot of this back and forth happens, between now and the draft, and things change. But usually those top couple guys will stay there. And I could see, it being between really him and Drake May. But I don't know enough about that class yet. I liked having, I think Jeremy was on when he was talking about, his rookies. And I'm very interested in starting picking that up, but usually that's like in January. Once the playoffs are starting to wind up, I'm like, okay, now I need to start thinking about the draft. So
you have 6 weeks. You're good.
I do. I have some time. So let me get back. So the second pick I also think is pretty clear cut here. It's at Anthony Richardson for me. I know Louis, you probably don't need much of a convincing. I did have Stroud number 1 as well, but Richardson's clearly the second best option in a super flex format over Bijan. I think that was the next toughest pick for me, just giving you a clue on my picks. But that's where I was, and that's where I stand still now with this class, just based on how that first year went. Injury certainly was unfortunate, but he clearly showed the signs of being that elite fantasy asset with his running capabilities and just being really electric in that Shane Steichen offense. I expect him to be there for a long time and scoring a lot of touchdowns.
You're going to get lucky then and get your next player, because call me a homer if you want, but Kincaid goes here for me. Like, I just think he's going to be that good and that dominant. I think he is going to be a Kelsey type player, Mark Andrews type player. I think he's going to be one of the best tight ends in the game. And that position is shown. If you can break away and have one of the top few guys, you are set for years. So right now, I can't make an argument for a running back that might only play 5 or 6 years instead of a tight end that might dominate the position for the next 10, 12. So I'm going to go Kincaid here, and I'll let you pick Bijan. I guess what's your next pick? Is that what it is?
It is my next pick, and so when I did my my rankings, I didn't look at it in a tight end premium lens. So my rankings will be a little bit different. But hey, you know what? We'll both release our lists, and that way, the listeners will have both a tight end premium and a non-tight end premium list. So yes, the next pick is Bijan, and I understand shelf life of running back. I get it. You don't necessarily want to build your teams around running backs, but you know what you do want to build your team around is young running backs that are drafted in the first round of a draft, and despite their head coach potentially not knowing or not understanding how to use that player effectively, I do see the talent. I think everyone can see the talent. And so I'm betting on that. Maybe this will also be, just like me and Kyle Pitts, I refuse to get off Kyle Pitts for the same reason, but Bijan's on another level for me. He was an elite prospect. He has the draft capital, and he's already shown me in his first year that the talent matches it. So he checks all those boxes for me. He's the third, best, most valuable asset in this rookie class.
Again, we're just kind of helping each other out. I think I would have not taken Bijan even if I had that pick. I don't have him above Gibbs, and Gibbs would be my next pick here. I don't want to fall into the same trap I did with CEH and Jonathan Taylor. Like, I want to believe what I'm seeing, and I feel like.
Wait a second. CEH did not have the rookie season that Bijan's having. At least
Bijan's not. No, he did not. He did not have the same rookie season, but he didn't look better. I mean, I think the eye test is Gibbs is the more talented player and more explosive. And that might just be at this moment, and that might be system, and that might be all that. But I'm a big Bijan guy, but I'm going to take Gibbs because I've seen it done. I've seen it happen. And Bijan still hasn't had that game where he's had a breakout, and he might not until after Arthur Smith is gone or dead. Which I wouldn't. I shouldn't. Never kid. Let's just hope he's gone. Your next pick after Gibbs.
So now if we're going in a tight end premium format, I would go Laporta, but I'm not going to do that here because I'm just gonna continue on with my list as is. And my next pick is Puka. Maybe is a surprise, but I don't think it should be. The way that he burst onto the scene, I think what he did was as a rookie is unprecedented. And when somebody does what he did to the levels that he did, there's just no going back from that. So yes, there's players with much higher draft capital in this class and have also looked really, really good that are very close on my list. But I bought into Puka pretty much from the start, and I am not going back now. So Puka is the fifth player on my list, and I think that's the fifth pick, right?
Yeah, and I have him in the same tier here. Like, I don't think that that's crazy at all. I would have, considered him with this pick. I'm gonna go the tight end premium route and take Laporta here. Even without the premium, there would be maybe some question there, but I think I would take this next tier of players over Laporta if it wasn't tight end premium. But with the tight end premium thinking, I'm gonna go Laporta here and move on to you.
This is fun because I have another player that I'm very excited to get that we all know and love. It's Devin Achane. It's an easy pick. He's he might just be a home run hitter. He might just be that, in short bursts, yep, there it is. He's bringing it out.
This is my rip-off Devin Achane jersey, but I got them both, baby.
Right.
Yeah, they did spell it.
I'm now the rightful owner of that. I've drafted him with the 6th, 7th pick that I wrote on. So thank you for my jersey. And it's an easy pick, I think here. Well, there's a couple guys, but yeah, I think he's already shown enough, and I wish I had him more places. I wish I had him everywhere in my dynasty leagues. He's going to be an explosive asset for a couple of years.
So I have like 5 guys, including Achane and Puka, that were like on the same tier after Laporta, and it's going to be a little bit tough to choose from right now. But I think you have to go Jordan Addison. The explosiveness has been there. The consistency has dropped down since Jefferson's been out, which, is he a true number one? Does he need a playoff of Jefferson? We'll find out. But I think right now I'm still taking Addison at this point over the other few guys here that are in this tier for me, which I'm sure you're picking one of them.
Yep, exactly. And couldn't have, that's the natural pick. So these next 3 guys, it's one of the most interesting things is that I have them ordered in a way, I think actually in inverse order of how many points they've scored this year. So my first pick or my next pick of these next 3 guys is Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm still trusting my pre-draft evaluation. And post-draft, right? I still feel like we've seen flashes from him. I also think that they're not utilizing him correctly. It's a crowded wide receiver room. All of the things that they told you to worry about going into his first season, maybe making him not the best redraft target as opposed to a dynasty target. But man, if people are willing to sell him right now, you have to be willing to jump back in and at least test the waters on that because he had an excellent prospect score. He had great production at Ohio State. He competed with some other alphas there. So I'm still buying in long-term to JSN, and especially sealed the deal with that nice catch the other night. So,
yeah, again, he was one of the 3 guys in the tier with the 11th pick in the first round. I'm going to go out of, positional value and take Bryce Young. It's you can't give up on him yet for sure. It's been a rough start. I don't know if he'll have a new head coach next year. It's very possible. But he'll definitely have, another coordinator and whatever. We watched it here in Buffalo. It takes sometimes some guys a few years. Just because he's a quarterback and has been talented, I will take him at the 111 here and leave you with the last pick in the first round. And then we'll speed up the second round a little bit, but go ahead and finish the first round.
That's fine. Well, after this, we're going to play a little exercise of would you trade this player for that player? So
Yeah,
see if
yeah.
you would actually take Bryce Young there. All right. So my next pick, happy to get him here, is Zay Flowers. Same situation. I get what Tank Dell has done. He's my next player. Spoiler alert. But I get what Tank Dell has done. But Zay is still. I mean, he's attached to Lamar. He's done a lot. He had. I think he was on the list of having the most unrealized air yards. He's also he's certainly a candidate for positive touchdown regression. He's not really. Has he still not scored? I think Louis. I still think he's not scored. Right. He still has. Zay Flowers has still not scored.
Flowers has one touchdown. He has one touchdown, right?
I thought it was brought back. It's called back.
Oh, you know what? It might have been brought back.
Yeah. Yep. So I do think look, he's doing all of this. He's scoring as a wide receiver 3 right now with 0 touchdowns. So imagine when he's actually catching touchdowns, which will come. I still, again, he was my second guy behind JSN going into the draft, as far as talent. And I get what Addison has done has warranted, him jumping, but I'm still a Zay Flowers guy. And I would definitely, he's close with JSN for me.
Are
we stat checking that? Did you stat check that?
That was me stat checking, but we don't need to talk about it.
Oh, well, I want to make sure we're giving out factual information.
Does he have 1 touchdown?
He's on the record for 1.
I thought he had 1.
No. Oh yeah, he does. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to make sure. I'm not trying to call Ryan out. I just want to make sure we're giving out factual.
Hey.
You know how many wrong things I've said on this podcast? I just want to make sure that we're giving out factual.
Yeah, when other people say things that are wrong, he wants to correct, but just not when he does it. It makes sense.
You guys have been correcting how I say words the whole season, but like you should be.
A shot.
We're not good words.
It's still close enough.
The second round, let's just kind of rapid fire, 10 seconds or less on each pick. I'm going to start with the Tank Dell at 2-1. You mentioned it. I mean, whatever. Explosive offense, great quarterback. He's going to be great for years.
Yep, and there's the tier break for me. The next couple guys here, there's a lot of variance. But I'm happy to pick up the first one, Josh Downs. I think he's shown enough. He's with Richardson, and man, he's turned some heads. So, yep, easy pick for me, I guess.
I'm gonna go Rashee Rice, and that's just because who he's connected to in Mahomes and an offense that nobody else really wants to step up. He's young and has that time to build a relationship with them. It could get really explosive. I mean, he's been a tight end machine so far this year. So I'm excited for him. And this shows him at 2-3 here. It just shows how great this class has been.
Really is impressive for sure. And one pick away from where I was from the player that I'm going to select, that's Jaden Reed. I first had thought, this is kind of a fluke. Not sure that this is going to last, but it's sustaining. I think he's carving out to be that preferred option. Christian Watson is just too unreliable. He's a boomer bust type of player. So, yeah, I think he might be the real deal. And in the mid-second round, I mean, that's a steal in this redraft. So,
yep, for sure. 2-5. I'm going to take Levis. He was my biggest owned quarterback coming into the year, mostly because I had a lot of good teams last year, and I needed quarterbacks on him. And so I got him a lot, the 111, 112. Here I'm getting him at 2-4, which is kind of crazy, right? Like you feel like he gained value. He's got in, he's looked okay, and he was going 111, 112 in the offseason, and now he's actually looked good and moved back, which is a little surprising to me, but I like him a lot. I don't know if he's going to be a superstar, but at 2-4 all day or 2-5 we're at, he should. I don't think he should have fell this far, and there's a good chance he outproduces a lot of the guys that we've already said.
Yeah, that might be. I'm typically, and as is the case right now, a little bit behind market on quarterbacks that I think right from the start that they're either like just a guy or below average. So I kind of bow out of it early, so I throw him down the ranks. So I get it. I mean, he has shown, but I'd much rather have, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is I'd much rather have Tajay Spears. I'm a Spears guy, that's the case. And look, I think that next year when Derrick Henry is not a Tennessee Titan, which is almost a foregone conclusion, he's going to have a really nice share of that offense. And of that offense, and if you're right, Louis, that Will is actually a good quarterback or decent or good fantasy asset, I think he's going to unlock, Tajay Spears then. So let's hope for that's the case and go Tajay Spears.
Okay. That's a good little transition. Here's another tier just from here out in this round that's pretty much the same for me. I'm going to use the tight end premium again to kind of cheap out and go Musgrave here. Team that uses tight end a lot. He's had some big games. Jordan Love's looking good. They're going to grow together. Sure. Give me Musgrave here at that pick.
Right now, there's a guy in the green room. If the camera was panning to him, he would just be freaking out that he had not yet been picked. But I'm not taking him here either. He's still going to sit there because I'm going to instead take Zach Charbonnet. I know he's not been really anything that impressive, right? He had his first crack at that lead role. Yes, you're going up against the San Francisco, 49ers defense. So, that was probably really nice for him. But I still think he's got a decent future in this offense. He is a running back, or in this league, he is a running back. So, shelf life is smaller, but I still, he's got talent.
All right, 4 more picks in this last round. In the second round,
sorry, I'm just correcting you. It's 91 more picks. Hello.
Okay. 4 more picks quickly before Ellie falls asleep. I don't know who you're talking about that is feeling shafted here. I don't think you might be talking, but Roschon Johnson's my pick here. He hasn't shown much yet. He's going to probably get his chance here this week with Foreman out and Herbert not at 100%. So maybe this is the week that he shows that he should not be this low. But Roschon Johnson.
Okay. Nope, still not going to take that guy. He's going to remain in the green room. Might not even make him. Maybe he's a priority free agent. I don't know. But I'm going to instead take Marvin Mims Jr. He has flashed to me, and I'm just projecting now at this point with second round picks. I'm trying to say, let me know, what the offense would look like if this player had an expanded role, and I think it would look pretty good. So give me Marvin Mims.
Sure. He just missed my list. He did not make my top 2 rounds, but I definitely considered him. I'm going to go Kendre Miller here. I want to just believe he was the victim of bad decision making by the GMs. They Kamara all of a sudden comes back after only 2 games, right? And then they signed Jamal Williams. He really hasn't had his crack. I still like the talent there. I mean, at 211, he was going a lot earlier than that in the summer, so I'll take him here. And with the last pick, are you going to take your?
No, you know what? If I'm being real to my list, which I have to be true to my list, I'm going to release this, right? So I cannot. I have to take Keaton Mitchell. I would take Keaton Mitchell over this next guy, which is kind of crazy to say out loud, but I think it's true. The guy I'm talking about in the green room that's going to just now have his choice of which team he's going to join is Quentin Johnson. I mean, I understand that he shouldn't have an argument based on his play, but his draft pedigree alone, right? He's a first-round pick. He was picked over Zay Flowers. So I still, I know it's looked bad, but he's got to be at least in that consideration. He's 22 on my list. I would take Musgrave over him. But interestingly enough, I have him below Will Levis, and I think you probably think that's heresy. So, but the list is the list.
Is it his je ne sais quoi?
I'm sorry, what?
Is it his je ne sais quoi? You just don't know what's going on with him? What do you think, Louis? Louis, you like
I need you.
You punched your face.
Why
are you so angry with that draft?
I needed you to know. I just needed you to. I don't know what you just said. Did you say something in
it's
French?
Sorry.
Okay.
You guys don't speak French.
Wait.
The thing about him you don't understand. Like that's Ryan's picking him because there's something about him that we just haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he's just garbage. But whatever, we'll find out. You speaking French, though, it got me asking you a question. Have you ever been to Montreal?
Oui.
Okay, so I just made a plan to go to Montreal for my birthday, 40, coming up soon. Am I going to be able to function there without, or am I going to be like Joey from Friends, like trying to speak French?
They're very lovely. They're great food, great drink. The
That's
people
what I want. I want
are kind. As long as you're nice, they just want to love you back. So we'll talk after the pod because I'm going to go back. I just can we talk? Do we finish our draft pool then?
Yes,
Is that what
yes.
So here's what I think. I think it's wild. So as the listener, this 2023 rookie season has been wild. Like so many amazing stars, potential Hall of Famers in there, right? I know I'm a Bills fan, so I'm very partial. But the Kincaid, I still think he's a unicorn. I think his tight end size makes him a unicorn, and it makes him a great scheme blocker. He has great near wideout speed. He has beautiful hands. He was a steal for us at 25. But this draft was a year, and there's some real stars in this one. So. I'm excited to see kind of what happens at the end of the year. So maybe we can compare what everyone's numbers are. But so as we just Lou and Ryan, you heard each other's draft picks. Anyone you wish you could trade, or you wish you could have seen earlier in the season as a higher pick?
Well, go ahead, Ryan.
So other than I guess whiffing, with Stroud and Young, I guess I was prioritizing some of the running backs in the second round, like Kendry Miller, like Tajay Spears. And, honestly, now that was a mistake. I think this receiver class is proving to be the true value here, despite, my feelings about how Spears will do in the next couple of years. So I do think that we're going to have, from 8 years down the line, still a handful of these guys like producing, and we're going to be like, wow, this class was pretty good. And so that's an interesting takeaway from this class. And I guess a lot of recent wide receiver class having been really, really strong.
Yeah. Lou?
I'm mad at myself that my Puka love did not come till later in the summer. I did not get a lot of him in Dynasty, and he was free. You could have got him in the last round every draft. He was basically free. If I went through all my drafts and told you who I picked in the fourth round in front of him, I'm sure most of them aren't on rosters right now, and that kind of sucks. Only because of how much I ended up, really loving him once I started digging into the tape. So that bothers me. But no, I think we almost every time that you said a pick, like he was within one or two on my. So I think we have very similar takes on it. It is crazy. One, how much things have shaken up a little bit, but that's always common for it to shake up like that. But two, like to Allie's point, just how many great players there are this year. For the Levis point, I was just kind of like saying out loud when it hit me. Like he came in, no one expected him to play this year. He came in, he's played well, and then he falls back in and that's just because of how great the rest of the class is. So definitely a good point there.
Yeah, everyone trust Louis' gut is what we're trying to say too with the All right, we've got our favorite time of the week. Week 12, cats and dogs.
Trying to get our two boys ready to carry them to golf tournament for practice, right? 12 cats live across the road. Our door's open. Screen's broke. We need to get a new screen door, but the screen's broke. So you can come in through the screen, but you can't get back out of it. I turn and look, there's a little kitty cat in our kitchen. So I said, what are you doing in here, little kitty cat? By that time, the cat turns, tries to get back out. That screen won't go that way. Cat starts going, meow, all crazy. And I told our players, we need more dogs. Bo's barking in the back. I have to go shut Bo up. Mel's like, what's going on? I said, there's a cat in the house. Cat in the house? I said, yeah, there's a cat in the house. So I told our players, I tried to let it out the front door. Meow, meow, the cat's still going crazy in there. And I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs. Told
We don't need no meows. We need dogs, everyone. What? I know we are already into week 12, so we've got a lot to talk about. I'm going to start this off because I'm going to be very positive. It'll be a nice layup to Ryan, as it always is. But in honor of Louis, and I'm wishing him to get number one. I'm going to say Kenny Pickett. We need him to be. He's our dog of the week. Steelers versus Bengals. I think he is going to just do everything we need him to do. I think he's going to be powerful. I think the Bengals are so boring. The fans are like, meh. If you're a fan of Bengals, I like you. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm still angry as a Bills fan, but I think Kenny is just gonna give you the numbers you need. Louis.
New offensive coordinator. Like he was a thought of mine. I didn't want to sound too optimistic, but he was a thought for my dog of the week. Yeah, I mean, the new offense coordinator is going to try to find out if he's good.
Yeah.
Could turn out that he just sucks, but
no. Positive energy.
Yeah. I like
number. Kenny Pickett.
I appreciate it. Ryan, who's your dog?
Ryan, who do you have?
Okay, so my dog of the week is Isaiah Likely versus the Chargers. So it might seem a little bit obvious, right? With Andrews going out, Likely goes in and fills a need in that offense. But the reason why I like him specifically against the Chargers is that he played 74% of the snaps last week when Andrews obviously got hurt. So he's going to be on the field. He's going to get those opportunities. He already has shown in the past to work with Jackson and I expect them to not necessarily change their offense as opposed to just kind of plug him into that type of role and hope he can get 60 to 70% of Andrews' production. So, and not to mention the fact that the Chargers have allowed the third most scoring against at the tight end position. So they're going to, it could be exploited right here. I think that it could be one of the highest scoring games of the week, at least on the Baltimore side, because I do think that offense is clicking right now. So give me Isaiah Likely to be, let's say a top 5 tight end this week.
Yeah. I love it. Isaiah Likely. And now Lou, who's your dog of the week?
Okay, we're gonna go like that. All right, we'll do. We'll do my dog. Yeah, we'll do my dog. My dog is maybe he's always a dog, but he could be looked at as a cat this week, and I kind of want to remind everybody that he's a dog. I'm gonna go Jamar Chase here. I think a lot of people could be down on him this week because of the quarterback change and Browning coming in for Burrow. And it's a good defense against Pittsburgh, and it looks like it might be some shitty weather. I mean, everything against Chase is lining up against him, but I want to believe in the talent sometimes. And like you look at Garrett Wilson on that Jets team, and somehow he's putting up 15 to 20 fantasy points each week with like these losers throwing him the ball. Like I want to believe
Tim Boyle, my guy.
I want to believe that Chase's natural ability is going to still shine, and that he's going to still be a wide receiver 1 this week. And like to make it more specific in DFS and play like DraftKings and stuff, he's still the 3rd highest expensive wide receiver. So he's going to be so low owned that taking the chance on spending that money on him might really pay off if he hits.
Ryan, I saw your eyebrows go up the second Louis announced that. What was your first thought?
No, I think that, look, the reason I like doing the cat and dog segment is sometimes it makes you think and then put into words, right, exactly what your take is on a player. And so I was mentioning to Lou before the show, like it makes me want to go in and start Isaiah Likely in 80% of my lineups. I want to go in and force him in there because I could see a path to him actually collecting those targets and being a real value this week. So, I guess we're more so doing it, in the sense of like, if it's close. But with Chase, I think that one of the other points that Lou didn't mention was that I think sometimes with these really alpha wide receivers. When quarterbacks come in, they're inexperienced. They want to force feed the guy that they know they can trust. So maybe he just, Browning comes in and is like, all right, my safety blanket is Jamar Chase. There's no T. Higgins. So who you're going to throw to, Jamar Chase or Trenton Irwin? Okay. I think you're going to probably throw to Jamar Chase. So I love that take. I think, people might be hesitant about putting Chase in, but, I could totally see, Louis' scenario playing out.
I love it. Now, follow up. Who is your cat of the week, Ryan?
So my cat of the week is Chuba Hubbard versus Tennessee. So Tennessee is actually pretty, I'd say, decent. They're top 10 against the run to scoring or for running backs. And so, you look at this offense. Chuba Hubbard actually played pretty well last week. He had 10 carries for 57 yards. So, sounds pretty good, 5.7 yards per carry. But the problem is he's basically splitting work with Sanders, or at least he did last week. And this offense is just not looking good. I think it's going to be a low scoring, low volume game. And if you're just betting on touchdowns to get production, it's a really scary game to play. So I'm avoiding Chuba. I'm avoiding most of this Carolina offense, if not all of them. So yeah, I'd bench him pretty much anywhere you'd have him. But you probably have a better option, if not even on the waiver wire.
All right.
I'll make this quick because we've talked way too much football on this episode.
Yeah, football on a football podcast.
This is so dumb. But I'm gonna go Addison, and I know I just gave you a lot of reasons why he's a great dynasty asset. But I did mention right there, his production has dropped quite a bit with Jefferson out and not drawing attention away from him. Dobbs is in at quarterback, obviously, which is going to be a drop off in passing production. Addison has been under 10 points now 3 weeks in a row. I think it's going to continue here this week against Chicago. So I'm benching Addison where I can. Let's have fun, shall we?
All right. And before we go into that, just listeners, remember to like and subscribe to us on YouTube and all of our social medias platforms. We have that great listener contest. And we are excited for you guys to eventually, someone is going to be our fourth square. We're very excited for this. You can wear your favorite jersey and we will not wear jerseys. So it'll be weird. It'll be fun. But seriously, thank you so much, everyone who's listening right now. We appreciate it. And we would love to have you on this podcast. All right. So holiday movie draft, everyone. Are we still doing
no, we could do 4 because it's up to you. Are you tired? You've been tired. You're tired.
Let's do 4. We're gonna do 4.
Let's do 4. We're gonna do 4 rounds.
Someone's gonna take Home Alone 1, 2, and 3. So we're gonna do our favorite holiday movie draft, everyone. Louis, with his great Microsoft Office skills, is going to do his little.
Ellie, you got the number 1, Ryan number 2, and I got the number 3. So Ellie, the number 1 pick in the holiday draft is it?
Go fast. I'll be fast. I'm going Home Alone. Long live Kevin McAllister. It can never work today because that wouldn't happen. It's the best. Sticky Bandits. Amen.
Yep. I think that's probably the clear 1-1, but
I win.
Ryan won last week somehow. So I don't know how.
Also,
wait, go ahead. You fight first.
If you spelled things correctly or give a little bit more background, I feel like me or Ryan could have taken gold. I'm just saying. Ryan
did win.
I know,
and I did. I sacrificed myself. I couldn't even get myself in the poll. I could have sacrificed one of you two. I didn't even get myself in the poll voting. And you want to know what makes me more mad now that we're on this?
You should be in.
Now you guys got me really fucking wired up because our polls get 15 to 20 votes each week. They get nothing. And yesterday I put a poll up to see which fucking movie I should watch. I got 150 fucking votes on it. And I was like, what the hell? It's like a really funny Facebook status and no one likes it. And then I put up a picture of my daughter and everybody likes it. I'm like, you bitches, you're fucking watching every second.
This is the problem. I said like my favorite, my biggest dork is like Doug Funny because he's Caucasian, and he was like Doug Blue, and I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? So I'm gonna say you're shoving things, you're compressing. So again, the subscriber, tell us what you think we should do for Louis' polls. Should we get them out right after this podcast? Should we could do Sunday review? Like, what should we do?
Okay, we'll figure out something. We'll figure out.
Yeah,
maybe I'll present it better in a
congratulations,
thread.
Ryan. Congratulations.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead. She seems really bitter about that.
Ryan and I are really neck to neck on this. That's why it's very
why am I never neck to neck? That's what I want to know. You are always in the fucking top two. Our guests never win. I never win. It's just you two. I feel like
you're
guys
like Shawshank for best comedy. We're like, what? Okay, go on.
Well, Lou, I'll have you know, I did vote Pulp Fiction in that poll, and I hope that you did watch that movie. Did you? I think it won.
I actually watched the one that was the least voted because literally one person who I cared more about their opinion than the 168 other people that voted was like, oh, I think that one. And I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it was great.
Oh, it's such
very
a good.
happy.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk.
Okay, go ahead.
Good. It's so good. So good.
Lou just tried to find the person that always voted for him in his polls. He was like, oh, that was probably his movie suggestion. I'll pick his. All right. My pick is Elf. I mean, it's a good movie. I mean, you're not like standing behind Elf and like saying it's like high cinema. None of these are, right? They're not like great films in any way, but like it's a funny movie. I think it starts strong and like kind of like tails off as you go on. I've always thought that it's like the funny parts are really towards the beginning, but it's a good movie. And I feel like every Christmas or around Christmas time, I'm watching that at least once, maybe, you know, sometimes like on accident if it's just on, but you know, you have to watch it. So
100%.
Great choice.
Both those are definitely up. I don't know where I would have taken them if I had one of your two picks. Like, I don't know which one I would have picked first. If I would have picked either of them, I think I probably would have picked this pick first, the one that I'm going to make right now, and that's Christmas Vacation. Yeah. It's just my age group. You know, Elf was great, but later Home Alone was mine too. But just Christmas Vacation has been a tradition for me for years. It's never really lost its humor. I love it. I love the movie. Whatever. I don't need to explain much about Christmas Vacation. I wanted to get a little bit diverse here because it is Thanksgiving, so I wanted to throw some Thanksgiving movies into my selections here. And I think the top Thanksgiving movie is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh,
and I needed to get that here because that is the premier Thanksgiving movie, and I'm really glad to I mean, I got some of the most famous comedians of all time in my first two movies here, and I'm kind of happy.
Well done.
I'm not kidding when I tell you that I had an iteration of my list where Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was number one on my list. So I for sure thought that I was going to get this, you know, in sequence here. So now I'm a little bit rattled. And as one does when they are rattled, they take Jingle All the Way. That's my
I do tend to jingle it all the way when I'm rattled.
Is Kevin James in that, Ryan?
I think a young Kevin James was in that.
Kevin James is the star of Jingle All the Way 3.
Okay.
He was the punk teenager, I think. I'm guessing.
Okay.
So look, I think it's a hilarious movie. Turbo Man, I mean, so many good lines. It's funny. So I'll take it. It's not Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I've always said that. But, it's close.
I will say Steve Martin was my first crush. So there, Louis. Okay, you get my vote, Lou. So I got the doubleheader. I'm going to do a classic. Love Actually. That movie is so great. It's romantic. It's sweet. It makes you cry. It's perfect. Jude Law has hair in that movie. It's great. And then I can still talk about it, but we'll move on. And then the other one, I guess I'm going to do Because we all like have a little tingle in our heart. The Muppets Christmas. I mean, Gonzo with his little nose, and he's like just cold and a little screw. Like, I mean, he's so cute, and he's like no one loves him, but I love him. Muppets Christmas. I could literally have not have seen the movie, and I could have been like, Gonzo looks like garbage.
No, I love both those movies. I love them both. Love Actually is like, I used to get really mad when I was single for a long time, and I would go to Christmas and my family would just like kind of wonder if I was gay. Like they would just ask around the question, but they definitely, you could tell. And when I watched Love Actually for the first time, I was like, maybe they're right. I think they might be. They confused me so much. I was like, you know what? I might have to go this year and tell them that
it's a beautiful movie. I have a real life friend who got engaged. Like a guy came up to her door and did the flashcard, like, I love you, you were great, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like it's like, it's so beautiful. There's so many, like 41,000 actors in it. It's a great, if you haven't seen it and you want an ugly cry, watch Love Actually.
Love it.
Yeah. There's a lot of good, I think, Christmas rom-coms, right? There's some good content out there. So I would like to get one of those on my list, but I think I might have blew it by getting Jingle All the Way. So I think instead I'm going to pick Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The 1966 version. I think like it's just one of those that, like, if you think about, or at least when I think back to like early Christmases, like that was always on like the TV, right? So it's just a classic. The voices, everything. So feel like, it's nice to have like a Christmas classic in the collection. So
perfect pick, Ryan. Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect. Cuter? Could there be a cuter dog than Max? Like,
right.
It just perfect.
So many like good elements to that movie. It's really, really well done.
Perfect. Yep.
Well, guys, I'm not gonna lie. This couldn't work out more perfect for me. For like my top 5 picks on my board, I'm gonna end up getting this one. I think is gonna disappoint you, Ryan. I thought you might have taken this one right there as you started talking about Christmas rom-coms, but Just Friends is like the fucking funniest movie ever. It is so great. That movie, every single time I watch it, I laugh like a schoolgirl getting tickled. Do schoolgirls laugh?
Literally never.
Is that I actually don't think. I think actually I should have reported something when I was a kid. I think I just realized,
but never tickled.
I think I just realized that I went years without reporting something I should have. Yes, I'm gonna go. I'm going to go. Just Friends. There, such a great movie. I'm gonna actually probably turn it on tonight.
Great film. Great film.
To keep a balance here with my Christmas Thanksgiving vibe, I'm gonna go another Thanksgiving video. I up until about 2 hours ago, I had this on my list all week because we were gonna do this on Wednesday, and I tried to convince somebody about how good of this movie was about 2 hours ago when I told them what I was doing, and they had never seen it. And so they're like, send me a funny clip, one clip that's going to make me want to watch it. And I sent them, and they were like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore is so funny. Wait, really? Neither of you?
Never seen it.
I've seen every Pauly Shore movie.
Oh, okay. Ryan's saying no. Son-in-law, Thanksgiving. They go back for Thanksgiving, him and the girl, and they go back to the farm, and then he makes her fall. He was acting as he was coming as the friend, and then they fell in love. And Pauly Shore is hilarious, but peak Pauly Shore was great. That was peak Pauly Shore. It was a wonderful movie. It's really funny and stupid and cheesy, like all of his movies, but it was great.
As I'm sure Louis and I have both have worked with people who have worked with him, and keep Pauly Shore in early 90s. So
Yeah.
Perfect. That Son-in-Law was a great film. So really good choice. That's a very edgy. I like it. Very good.
I liked it. I like it. Thank you.
No,
Ryan.
Well, I've never wanted to go 6 rounds more than right now because I'm having a really hard time between deciding a movie that I think would get more votes in a Twitter poll for what is the best Christmas movie versus a rom-com. If given the choice right now between that movie and the rom-com, which would I'd rather watch right now? I'd rather watch the rom-com, but I'm not going to pick that. I'm going to pick the movie that's going to give me the more votes, and that's Die Hard. It's a movie where you're going to debate whether it's a Christmas movie or not. And so it's a entertaining movie, right? So it's always on around Christmas time. TNT would always have it, or TBS, or whatever, both of them at the same time. Sometimes I think actually would have it. So Die Hard, great movie.
I love the choice. I agree with you. It is if you see a tree that has lights and it's dark, it is in fact Christmas. So that's all I need. I don't think I'm winning because you two are killing it right now. Great job. That's a great pick. I'm going to go with my heart on this one because I have one that could be a fan favorite. It could be okay. So this is one that I think no one has seen, but if you are a person like me who has seen every Hallmark movie, every Christmas, I love Christmas, I love Hanukkah, I love all that stuff. It's a movie no one has seen, and it's Sandra Bullock's one of her first films, and it's called While You Were Sleeping.
Oh my God.
It's the most feel-good movie you will have. Have you seen it, Len?
Yes, it's so good. But I gotta go on. You finish your point. But
okay,
so
but also I'm free Monday if anyone wants to watch it. If anyone wants to come over and watch it, we can.
All right. So
but it is one of the. It's almost if any listener, it's like Ted Lasso good. It's like so kind and like fun, and you're like, God, like family is great and love is good and things are like you leave happy, and it's like one of the most beautiful films. Sandra Bullock is like 23 and she's just like no makeup. She's wearing 90s jeans when it was the 90s, so it's like unflattering. It's perfect. It's the most perfect movie. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. While You Were Sleeping. Bill Pullman's in it. He's from the Buffalo Connection. It's perfect. It's a perfect. It goes from Thanksgiving to New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Day. It's perfect.
Not to go too far off, and we're running late, but so I'll just I sent a Miss Congeniality gift to somebody, and somehow that led into okay, let's name our top 3 Sandra Bullock movies. You guys do it quick because While You're Sleeping was in there for me. I could give you
so Ryan, have you seen it?
I have not.
Ryan, can we have Friend Day and you watch While You Were Sleeping? It is
Let's do it.
so good.
So well, I'll go to Louis. We'll each put
so good.
We'll put some candy in the stocking for us.
I will have it there, and we'll watch that and Son-in-Law because he's got to watch Son-in-Law too.
Movie day.
Yes.
I'm sorry for taking that much time. It's just so good. It's so good.
We have to talk some snubs, right? Some honorable mentions on the list.
Oh
here.
yeah.
You're ready.
Snubs on this list. Yo, he's
yeah,
ready.
I am.
Like,
I
want
mean,
to go
think about
rounds.
A Christmas Story not being drafted. I mean, that's.
Are we done drafting?
Yeah, we're done.
Nightmare Before Christmas was on my list.
Yep. A lot.
I did not have much more because I didn't want to. I've realized this year how many I haven't watched. I have never seen. This is so funny. I have never watched. What's the one that's on every year? TBS every. Yeah, I've never seen it
either.
I've never seen it in full. It's always on. It's always on, like in background, but I've never watched it in full. Not
you
once.
Want to know why we won't watch it, Ryan? It's because there's so much yelling. Stop yelling in a movie.
So you don't like? You probably don't like Curb Your Enthusiasm then.
Oh, I love Curb.
Well, it is a lot of yelling too, though.
It's a lot of yelling, but like we grew up in that household. We don't need to recreate it. It's called trauma.
That's true.
It's called trauma.
I don't care that you wore pantyhose and a lamp. Okay.
Yeah.
You can buy it.
So that rom-com one that I was talking about was 4 Christmases.
That one's good. That one's good.
Maybe
Santa, I thought was good too.
maybe next we could do our favorite Vince Vaughn movies because he's been in some stellar.
Oh yeah, Vince Vaughn's great. Why don't we get him on the podcast and then we'll have him draft Vince Vaughn movies with us. Can that be your new thing each week? Can you just always hold that, and then if somebody says something good, you do the lasso.
I should actually
just instead of holding it in front of your head.
I'm holding an Ed Oliver jersey and lassoing my hand. Oh, it's very gross. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Okay. What other honorable mentions do you guys have?
I don't think I had any others on the list. Yeah, I had.
Two.
I had. I think. Wait, which ones did I?
I had
there was another
Scrooge.
one.
I had Bill Murray's Scrooge.
That's good.
Christmas in Connecticut. It's a good film. And Planes, Trains, and Automobiles really was
That's such a good movie.
I had two that probably like are on the outskirts of holiday movies, but just barely enough of it. But I don't know if you ever seen the movie Dutch with Ed O'Neill, right? Is that Al Bundy? Ed O'Neill?
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. And from the 80s, and just such a good movie. It's about him and this kid that go hitchhiking, and they're both poor, possibly. Maybe it's a dad and a son. I don't know. Really funny movie. I remember my dad and I watching it a lot. Maybe my dad lied about what it really was to try to show me what fatherhood really looked like.
It's a mirror.
And the other one I had on my list was what's the Playbook Shining something? Silver's Lining Playbook. Was around it was it wasn't very but it was around the holidays, and that's a great movie, and always Bradley Cooper always really toots my horn.
Great film. I think also any Hallmark movie involving a chocolatier or a prince also on our list. So you don't need to email no one to tell us that. But Ryan, any other top 40 for you?
No. I was pulling some from just lists after a number 10. So we're gonna be scraping. And I honestly didn't think anyone else would think of the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles thing. But I guess technically it is a Christmas movie.
So good. Yeah. Uncle Buck also. Once again, thank you, everyone. We are so excited. What a great holiday. What a great draft. Great job, everyone. Great insight, Ryan and Lou. Please like and subscribe us. We are on YouTube now. We're on Twitter/X. We have a Facebook link that always is linked by Louie. And please
you can find it.
Yeah, just go. It's not hard. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Good luck on week 12, everyone. Happy holidays.